Live from the corporation headquarters, this is Channel 1 Lunchtime News. My name is Edward Kabasa. Our sign language interpreter is Byron Abulu. Welcome to the program. Health Chief Administrative Secretary, take that again, Health Principal Secretary Rashid Aman says the government is not targeting or profiling any community in the fight against COVID-19 in the country. Aman refuted claims that the government was targeting to frustrate a particular community or faith in the fight against COVID-19, saying measures being put in place are meant for the safety of all.
Speaking Thursday when he led the Al Khair Foundation in distributing 5,000 face masks to Westlands Health Center in Nairobi, Dr. Rashid Aman defended the move by the government to put strict measures in EASLEY and Old Town in Mombasa to fight the spread of the coronavirus.
In terms of the government response, there is no profiling whatsoever in any form. We are working in the best interest of public health in taking these measures, and as we continue to do our targeted testing in some of the high-risk areas, we will come to see in future that the similar actions will also probably be taken in some of these. It is just by chance that we happen to have the first two areas that we put restricted movements on happen to be areas where the majority of the community that resides in those areas are Muslims.
Aman said it was just a coincidence that the two most affected areas of EASLEY and Old Town in Mombasa, which were closed by the government, are predominantly of a particular faith.
When we look at the contact tracing and we map the way we are following people who have been exposed, of course we identify areas where we feel that there has been some level of exposure through this contact tracing, and that is then where we consider those areas could be fertile ground for community transmission, and then we can move in there and do targeted testing, and if that reveals to us indeed that there is substantial transmission in that community, it is only then that certain of these measures can be imposed.
Aman, however, urged locals not to shy away from testing, as 70% of patients in the country get mild symptoms, adding that with strict adherence to set guidelines, the country will make a milestone in the fight against COVID-19. He urged all Kenyans and partners to continue supporting the government's efforts in combating the virus.
This opportunity to thank you, Al Khair Foundation, for the good work you are doing, to accept the donations that you are making to the Ministry of Health. I can assure you that these masks will be distributed appropriately to where they are needed.
Suleiman Yeri, Channel 1 News.
All right, we do apologize for that caption. Rashid Aman is the Principal Secretary, the Ministry of Health. And of course, we know very well that Mercy Mwangangi is the CAS, the Ministry of Health. Let us now cruise over to Mombasa County, where our reporter Michael Mwandiga is standing by. The government, through the Ministry of Health, is looking to test truck drivers. Of course, over the last couple of weeks, there have been concerns that a number of truck drivers have been contracting COVID-19. If you can hear me, Michael, how many have been tested so far, and what is the target?
Well, thank you so much, Kabasa. Indeed, you're coming to you live from this Mungusu Health Center here in Meritini Estate, Jovo constituency, Mombasa County. So far, since morning, at most 15 drivers have been tested in this exercise, which started yesterday. And they're planning, our target is they're planning to test as many as possible for those who are traversing other countries. This is from Mombasa through the port of Mombasa to other countries in East Africa, that is in Uganda, Burundi, and Rwanda. And here at this, we are at this Mungusu Center, whereby they are being tested. And I'm joined by one of the drivers who will tell us briefly what about this whole exercise. Of course, they're being told going through or to enter the port of Mombasa, as earlier on stated by the Coastal Regional Commissioner, Mr. John Elongata, they need to have that health certificate for them to be cleared to enter the port. And of course, for those who will be at the port, they need also to be tested, something which was being handled by the port health. And now here I'm joined by one of the drivers. Kindly tell us what is your name and what about this whole exercise? How do you find it? And maybe after being tested, what next?
Okay, my name is Lawrence Boy. The whole exercise is quite testing. It is disturbing. We came here very early in the morning with a promise that before 1, everything will be over. But up to this moment, you can see there's nothing that is taking place. The issue is just very slow. Yes.
And so far, after this, you're being told that you can't enter the port not unless you are tested and you have that certificate. So this center has been brought near to you for you to be tested. How do you find it? Because it's a milestone which has been done by the health.
We appreciate for the center, because actually the entire issue is just victimizing the drivers. They believe that we are the donkey of these people. We are the people who are carrying. We are the people who are transmitting this disease. So we have been subjected to this. We go everywhere, we are tested. But here, my friend, we are finding it difficult because actually what is happening here will actually take place in Uganda again. So we find it difficult to handle this.
So for you, despite being tested here, so it is just becoming Kabasa because you'll be tested here and also be tested in Uganda. So,
exactly.
And what about the issue of your turnboys? Because you have turnboys, sometimes you get tired that maybe the turnboy will help you to park the car. What about them?
No, the turnboy does not park the car. But actually, they have been told they have actually removed the turnboys from the truck. So it's me and the truck. The turnboy is not there. It's me to move with the truck all the way from Mombasa to Bujumbura to Kigali, all those places. It's just one person. Yeah, so the dust turnboy is not there. The issue of turnboy has been removed. Yes.
Okay. So that's what they say for now regarding the whole exercise which is taking place here at Munguso Hospital or Munguso Health Center here in Meritini Estate, Jomvu constituency, Mombasa County. We'll come to you over again in our subsequent bulletins, of course, to give you more information with the interviews which we'll be doing here on what is happening regarding this COVID-19 testing. So far, 735 cases have been 735 cases have been tested in this country as of yesterday. And this is what we have for now from Mombasa County. I am Michael Mondiga, and back to you, Edward Kabasa.
Thank you very much, Michael Mondiga, for that report. World Health Organization is warning governments against predicting when the coronavirus will disappear, with the body regretting that the virus may never go away. Speaking at a briefing on Wednesday, WHO Emergencies Director Dr. Mike Ryan added that even if a vaccine is found, controlling the virus will require a massive effort. Almost 300,000 people worldwide are reported to have died with the coronavirus and more than 4.3 million cases recorded.
The World Health Organization says despite efforts employed by world governments to control spread of COVID-19, it is impossible to control the virus. Speaking during a briefing on Wednesday, WHO epidemiologist Maria van Kerkhove said there was need to get into the mindset that it is going to take some time to come out of this pandemic. The UN urged governments to make mental health considerations part of their overall response, saying the pandemic was causing widespread distress and mental ill health, particularly in countries where there is a lack of investment in mental health care. At the same time, the United Nations is forecasting that the coronavirus pandemic will shrink the world economy by 3.2% this year, the sharpest contraction since the Great Depression in the 1930s, pushing an estimated 34.3 million people into extreme poverty, mostly in Africa. Australia posted its biggest ever monthly rise in unemployment on Thursday because of coronavirus lockdown measures, even as the country begins to gradually ease those social distancing rules. Thursday's data from the Australia Bureau of Statistics showed employment in April dropped by 594,300, the largest fall on record, fueling the 6.2% unemployment. Burundi has expelled the World Health Organization representative in the country and 3 other health experts. An unsigned letter from the Foreign Affairs Ministry declared the WHO representative, Dr. Walter Kazadi, persona non grata and giving him 48 hours to leave the country. The others are Professor Tazi Daniel, Dr. Ruhana Mirindi, and Dr. Jean-Pierre Murunda. Meanwhile, U.S. authorities have accused China-linked hackers of breaking into organizations in the United States, carrying out research into the coronavirus infection. The statement comes amid increased tension between the two countries over the source of the outbreak. More than 4.3 million cases of COVID-19 have been recorded worldwide, including at least 297,000 deaths. Purity Museo, Channel 1 News.
The search for the body of an 11-year-old boy who drowned in River China at Kangemi area of the outskirts on the outskirts of Nyeri town has entered the 6th day, with the family calling on the county and national governments to intervene in the rescue mission. Hassan Washira, a standard 6 pupil at Mohoya Academy, drowned last Saturday at around 9 a.m. when he slipped and was swept away by the swollen and fast-flowing river.
11-year-old Hassan Washira had taken goats to the grazing field and after tethering them decided to wash his hands, but unfortunately slipped into the water. Residents Ruth Gadhigia lamented that no efforts are being made by authorities to assist them recover the body.
Lakini biwa na watu alienda kunawa mikono kwa mto, akateresa akabebwa na mto. Tangu hiyo siku kuna divers lipewa, akakuja hiyo on Saturday na akakuja on Sunday, but on Monday hatujapata.
Aliingia tu kuoga mkono hapa kwa maji, akaslide akaenda na maji.
Residents claim the county government dispatched divers after the incident, but they left the scene shortly, claiming the river was flowing very fast.
Hizi shuma si tunaona tunaweza wekewa daraja mingi za kuvuka. Na tena hizi chuma juu ziko riski sana, vile huwezi ambia mtu asivuke juu huku nyuma yetu kuna farm za kahawa. Sasa watu wanaenda huko kuvuna kahawa, watu wengi sana, na ndio inakuanga shida kubwa sana watu wakivukia kwa hizi chuma wanambebwa na maji.
His father Patrick Kibui is appealing to both levels of government and other volunteers to help him find the body of his son so that he can accord him a decent burial. Local volunteer divers have been searching for the body since last Saturday, despite lacking adequate skills. River China has claimed several lives, particularly when people try to cross the stream to pick coffee or do casual labor on the other side. Residents are now calling on the county administration to put up grills as a preventive measure.
Sasa tungeomba serikali ya county, juu hizi chuma ni vigumu sana kuondoa, iweke grill. Grill hata kama mtu akienda hivyo, iko safe ati hakuna mwenye anaweza slide aguke kwa mto.
Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Timothy Kipnosu.
And in other matters, there was drama at Makima location in Mbeere South, EMBU County, after hundreds of angry residents assaulted the area chief and 2 other people over land ownership wrangles. The area chief, Charles Ngari, and 2 other men suspected to be officers attached to Tana and Athi River Development Agency, TARDA, are said to have erected beacons demarcating a land inhabited by the residents.
Angry residents of Makina location in Mbeere South took to the streets to demonstrate against alleged eviction. Chaos that nearly injured the area chief and 2 other men, ostensibly from Tana and Athi Rivers Development Agency, TARDA. Concerns were rife over erected beacons on the land which residents fear might be a plan to evict them.
Katika Makima location, sisi sita tuko naye elia hii, sisi tunapebwa namna gani? Ile makaji tuko naye, mashamba yetu, tunaona watu wengine wakitoka elia zingine, wanakuja kibeba makaratasi, na hao ni poshari.
Wakati walikuwa wajenga hii dam, na wale watu ambao walikuwa wanafanya kazi hivyo, walikuja wakatuonyesha yellow line, mahali watu wanafaa kuishi. Kwa nini sasa wanasema tuende kilomita 5 kutoka kwa ile yellow line? Why is it that?
But as the area chief managed to escape the wrath of the rowdy residents, the 2 men alleged from TARDA received a severe beating as they could not convince the locals the reasons behind their presence in the area.
Na walikuwa na wakubwa wetu, sub chief, assistant chief, na kuchukua wakati waongee na sisi. Mimi nilijitokeza nikaenda nikaita
polisi mmoja nikamuuliza ni nini inaendelea, akaniambia mama kaa kando acha kuongea. Nilimwambia nitaongea kabisa, hata nikukufa sinjali, mimi nitaongea kwa sababu nilizaliwa huku Ndunguni na watu wanatuambia tutoke. Jamani, tutoke tuende wapi? Nilimwambia tutaenda.
And after roughing up the visitors, the locals dismantled the erected beacons. It was not until the intervention of security officers that the situation ceased. Journalists covering the fracas were not spared as they were bundled into a police vehicle for no apparent reasons. Area MCA, however, urged TARDA to engage the locals as matters land remains an emotive issue.
Koti ilisema hivi, watu waitwe, waketi pamoja, watakapokuwa wanafanya mambo yao, watu wetu wakuwe pale. Au sio? Waliwaita. Basi na waomba kwa heshima kubwa tafadhali, wakomeshe hii, muda huu wa corona uishe.
Kamchimenza for Channel 1 News.
Thank you very much, Kamchimenza, for that report. Channel 1 Lunchtime News is taking a short break. Don't go anywhere. We still have plenty more lined up for you.
On the next episode of Corner.
I'm sorry, I know I should have let you know that I'd come back.
Is that what you came here to say?
Please, usiscream. I wanted to talk to you.
Is this some kind of a joke?
No, Abasi, it's real.
I told you never to underestimate Julia. She just got lucky. That's why she keeps getting ahead of you.
120K.
Yes.
And an international fight.
Yep. This is the part where you say, oh, thank you, Julia. You are the best manager in the world.
Next on.
Sijauliza mamli ngapi, ngauliza pesa ngapi.
Yaani maendeleo, sisi hatuna maendeleo. Yaani hiyo yako hiyo ndio maendeleo hiyo.
Maendeleo. Sanduku kwa njia.
Sanduku? Sanduku lenyewe ni wapi?
Toa sanduku kwa njia ngapita wapi?
Hamna sanduku, ingia mme wangu.
KBC, in collaboration with the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, is broadcasting enhanced out-of-class learning on radio, television and online. Catch the lessons every weekday on KBC Channel 1 from 2 to 4 p.m, on KBC English Service and 15 FM from 9:15 a.m. to 5 p.m, and Radio Taifa from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. KBC English Service, Radio Taifa and 15 FM are also available countrywide on the free-to-air Signet digital TV platform, or log on to www.kbc.co.ke for live streaming, or download the KBC Online app on Google Play Store. Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, ensuring learning no matter what.
Welcome back to the program. Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa has called on the police manning Kenya's borders to curb movement in and out of the country as a precautionary measure against spread of COVID-19. Wamalwa says the borders are playing a big role in the increase of coronavirus cases in the country. He called for vigilance by the Narok County security team to help stem the movement of Tanzanian nationals into Kenya, especially at their own Posimoru border point. Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa says the recent positive coronavirus case in Wajir County came from Somalia after some residents went to sell their cattle in the neighboring country. He noted such incidences must be avoided, especially along the Kenya-Tanzania border, especially after the Namanga border town was classified by the government as a high-risk area.
Sasa hata hapa Narok kama hatujasikia mtu amepata ugonjwa, wanaweza ingia tu kutoka Tanzania watuletee ugonjwa hapa. So kwa hivyo tuchungane na hizi mask vile tumesema county commissioner apeane, sanitizers tukue nazo, tunawe mikono kila mara vile tumenawa leo.
Wamalwa was speaking at St. Joseph Catholic Nairobi Kare, where he donated food to flood victims from Narok East.
Baada ya mafuriko tumevamiwa na nzige. Baada ya nzige tena mafuriko ndio haya pamoja na corona zimekuja pamoja. Mambo haya vile mzee amesema si ya kawaida. Na kwa siku za usoni tutaendelea kuona mambo yasiyo ya kawaida. Kwa hivyo lazima tuanze kujipanga.
Environment and Forestry Cabinet Secretary Kiriako Tobiko, who accompanied Wamalwa, urged politicians to keep off the 2022 succession politics and instead deliver on their 2017 campaign pledges.
Sio mashindano kwamba ni nani amekuja na faida mingi kushinda mwingine. Nani ameleta mifuko za chakula mingi kushinda mwingine.
4 people have so far died due to flooding in Narok, while 6,000 families are in dire need of humanitarian support. The Kipini ancient fishing village in Tana River County is on the verge of extinction following massive degradation that is threatening livelihoods. The tourism resort was constructed, at the edge of the village on the beach has since been wiped out, with all buildings and trees destroyed.
Already the impact of the erosion is huge after an entire resort was brought down. Locals who depend entirely on fishing both in the ocean and the River Tana, which meets at the sea, may soon have no source of livelihood, leave alone the losses of their property.
Uangalie hiyo bahari, uangalie ukuta umebomoka, umevunja mahoteli makubwa makubwa. Sasa hii inaelekea kuingia kijijini, kumeza mji wetu. Kuna mambo wanakula watoto, kuna viboko wanaingia vijijini kutudhuru.
Bahari imeshikana pamoja na Tana River. Sasa wanyama wote like crocodiles zinavuka kisha zinaingia mjini.
Tana River County Governor Dado Godana on Wednesday led a delegation of senior county government officials to the area to assess the damage and came face to face with the disaster. According to Godana, the falling of seawall threatens the survival of Kipini town.
The level of degradation and the losses that has caused, to the extent that a hotel facility like this one, with 10 buildings, has been falling one building after the other, until now, the last one is eventually down.
Reports indicate that soon the freshwater sources in Kipini will soon turn salty due to the effects.
Changamoto kubwa ni kukosa kulinda ama kujengwa kwa wall, na hii imetokana na hali ya mazingira kama nilivyosema kwamba global warming. Tatizo kubwa ni global warming ambayo imetokea. Hii ni hali ya ulimwengu, kila mtu anaelewa.
Locals such as Awad Mbaraka San saying the 18th century monument hold a memory of ancient times and should not be left to the ruins.
Sisi katika eneo letu hatuogopi corona. Corona yetu ni hii. Unaona vile inavunjika hii bandari yetu mpaka maji yanaingia ndani ya mji sahihi. Kwa hivyo kile ambacho sisi tunaomba zaidi na zaidi na zaidi, serikali iangalie namna gani itahifadhi mji wetu usiende na maji, as short as that.
Kipini Ancient Fishing Village is a tourist destination earning Tana River County annual revenue.
The destruction of this ecosystem cannot be left to be watched by government and institutions until it is spoiled. They could be having big plans, blueprints, green economic papers to develop. But we cannot do that when we lose the delta. It must be handled today.
Irene Mchuma, Udim, Channel 1.
And still on matters environment, the Ruiru municipality and the Rotary Group have launched a tree planting exercise that plans to plant 10,000 trees in the area. According to Ruiru Municipality Manager Frederick Mwangi, the exercise is in the fulfillment of the government's goal of achieving a 10% forest cover in the country. Mwangi encouraged the local community to utilize the stay-home protocol and plant more trees, given that the area is prone to pollution from many industries and factories located there. Mburu Mashua from the Rotary Group urged the locals to actively engage in water harvesting.
So tafadhali wakati wa hili janga la corona, hata kuwa nyumbani tupande miti, ndio sababu hata inaweza kuwa ukumbusho mzuri ya zile siku tulikaa nyumbani ati tuliweza kupanda miti kama tumejificha ugonjwa wa corona.
Because we are looking at ile miti inaweza saidia watu. Kama hii shule tuko already tunajaribu kupanda miti ya matunda, ndio watoto wanaweza pia kuwa wanapata chakula ya when they are in school. We are encouraging the communities also to do what we call water harvesting.
And we clap.
The Nyandarua County Government has donated gas cylinders, water tanks and food rations to some 600 vulnerable families in the county. Governor Francis Kememia says the donations are meant to cushion the residents from the effects of COVID-19, as well as promote environmental conservation in the county. Separately, some vulnerable groups in Kisii County have benefited from foodstuffs and anti-COVID-19 items as the county moves to ensure residents are better placed to adhere to COVID-19 prevention measures. Donating food and non-food items to families in the county, said 30 million shillings has been set aside to cushion families in the region.
Hii ni mwanzo tu ya huu mradi wa kupatia watu wetu chakula ambao wako na shida. Wiki ijayo tutapeana fertilizer, tutapeana madawa, ili tuone kwamba kila mtu yule ambaye hana tanki kwa sababu labda umaskini katika boma yake, hasa wale maskini pamoja na wale ambao watu wa maumau wako wengi hapa vijiji colonial villages, kuna watu wengi maskini. Lazima tuwapatie matangi ya maji, tuwapatie gas ya kupika.
The items included gas cylinders, water tanks and food, which were handed to needy families in the county. Some 1,000 widows from Oljoro constituency in Nyandarua County have in the meantime benefited from free National Hospital Insurance Fund for a period of 1 year, courtesy of the National Government Constituency Development Fund. Area MP Michael Mushira said the 6 million shilling project is expected to go a long way in helping combat COVID-19 in the area.
Wale wanasemekana wako na underlying conditions kama diabetes, wale wako na HIV, wale wako na magonjwa zingine, tukasema tuwapatie hii NHIF walipiwe, ndio wakienda mahospitali waweze kutibiwa bila kuitishwa pesa. Wale wazee wa miaka 70, wale wako na disability na wale wako orphans. Tunashukuru serikali kuu kwa sababu wanawapatia pesa, lakini tunaomba zaidi ya hiyo, vile waambiwa watalipiwa pesa ya NHIF waanze kulipua, especially wakati wa COVID-19.
If you're just joining us, this is Channel 1 Lunchtime News. We are taking another break, but don't go anywhere. We still have plenty more lined up for you, and of course, keep interacting with us. Twitter handle is at KBC Channel 1, and you can also stream this broadcast live on Facebook, courtesy of the KBC Channel 1 Facebook page.
KBC Channel 1 evokes the full potential of worship in you.
You are the living God. You waited for me, just for me.
Join us for an experience like no other when it comes to lifting your soul and giving adoration.
We are here for you.
Worship Experience, Sundays at 10 a.m. Praise Mix, Saturdays at 5 p.m.
Ni kawaida kuanza siku vikawaida, lakini pale ukawaida unapobadilika,
umma una hamu na ari ya kupokea mambo yasiyo ya kawaida kutoka rubaa za kimataifa.
watu na maisha yao,
mazingira,
biashara na uchumi, michezo na taarifa zinazoboresha maisha.
Ndilo jukumu letu.
Ndio utamaduni wetu.
Ndio ukawaida wetu.
Dunia wiki hii kwa ushirikiano wa KBC na shirika la Shinua kutoka China inakuletea taarifa za kimataifa kwa ufasaha.
Welcome back to the program. Sweet pepper farming has gained popularity among farmers in Kibwezi constituency of Makueni County after many realized it does not need much attention like many other crops. Farmers say that despite the crop being relatively new to the rather dry region, the prices are very favorable.
Farmers from Kibwezi constituency of Makueni County have literally discovered a sweet deal in what the locals term as a gold mine, sweet pepper farming.
This is what they call sweet paprika. Sweet paprika is in the class of pilipili hoho. In Kiswahili, naeza iita pilipili tamu.
According to the farmers, the crop, unlike others, does not require much attention. Farmers here say that pepper has a ready market with favorable prices.
Ndio ile kitu ambaye naona tunapaswa kushirikiana na kufanya kwa sababu tuko na a lot of potentialities which are not exploited. And we need men and women to start rethinking their position, how to develop their place.
Experts say that the pepper is suitable for diabetes and high blood pressure patients due to its sweet taste.
It is not hot by all means. This is sweet. Even when you eat it now, you can taste it is not bitter. It is very sweet. And it is very suitable for people who have problems with diabetes and high blood pressure and other lifestyle diseases.
The sweet pepper is also suitable when used as spices in food. Farmers say it is much better than many spices available in the market.
We make salad and we use it like pilipili hoho. It is very sweet, by the way. And then we only get out once, and within 3 weeks, nobody goes out unless we have an emergency.
Subsequently, the farmers have sunk boreholes for irrigation purposes, given that the area is dry. Pepper or chili is a shrub that produces fruits whose color varies from green, yellow to red, depending on the maturity level and the species. Capsicum contains vitamin A, C, E, and all the big complex vitamins, plus minerals such as iron, phosphorus, and calcium. Some of these compounds are natural oxidants that quench free radicals in the body when pepper is consumed.
That is what we need to put in our minds and ask ourselves what kind of a value we can add right from our families, our counties, contribute to the national government, And then we can say, in these hard times.
Fiona Shuru, Channel 1 Business News.
Thank you very much, Fiona Shuru, for that sweet story. Family Bank has sealed a partnership with Worldwide Solutions that targets to resolve challenges in accessing capital in the healthcare system. Under the deal, Family Bank has earmarked 1.3 billion shillings for onward lending to micro, small and medium-sized medical enterprises during this COVID-19 pandemic and beyond, thus increasing access to quality healthcare services. Here are details of this and other stories in our corporate briefs.
Research by Wellwise Solution indicates that of the challenges facing micro, small and medium-sized medical enterprises, 35% are location and infrastructure expenses, 30% are equipment and technology costs, while 15% are manpower and other working capital expenses. Family Bank Chief Executive Officer Rebecca Mbithi says the lender targets at easing access to capital for private healthcare entrepreneurs, hence promote provisions of quality healthcare services, acquisition of new technology and increase employment opportunities. She says at the hospital level, the cash will fund equipping of healthcare facilities in terms of infrastructure, medicine and staffing. Meanwhile, smallholder farmers from 9 KTDA-managed factories are set to receive a batch of 36,500 reusable protective masks donated by Ethical Tea Partnership through the KTDA Foundation. The masks will be distributed in the tea catchment areas to protect farmers from the coronavirus pandemic as they go about their daily businesses. KTDA Operations Director Alfred Njagi says the masks will add on to the measures that KTDA-managed factories have put in place to protect workers and farmers from the coronavirus.
UTP members have decided to give the workers and the farmers about 36,500 masks through the KTDA Foundation, targeting the tea pickers, and they would encourage them to use them, especially when they are going to the tea collection centers.
Finally, Stanbic Bank's Women's Prepositions flagship Dada has partnered with the Rotary District 9212 that will see the bank invest in 700 sanitation stations in different parts of the country. Stanbic Bank Kenya Head of Business Tom Bisonga says the sanitation stations will play a significant role in contacting the spread of coronavirus.
We've come out as Stanbic Bank and said we will support the women, and through the initiative of Dada, we know that we are going to promote women entrepreneurs in this country, and hopefully that will also spread to other parts of the world.
The Rotary District 9212 has stepped up its COVID-19 response with the support of various partners, reaching more than 2 million Kenyans across the country.
And across our borders, Thailand's tourism sector has suffered a huge blow following the COVID-19 outbreak, as most businesses have been halted, leading to a significant drop in revenues.
6 weeks ago, Suvarnabhumi Airport in Bangkok was one of the busiest in Southeast Asia. But now, aside from the staff, it is almost completely deserted. Thailand, like many other countries, is effectively closed in efforts to control the spread of COVID-19, with no foreigners allowed to disembark there until end month. The Thai tourism authorities are already preparing for tourists to return. The street is getting a makeover, hoping that a new look will attract new visitors. Tourism accounts for about 20% of the country's GDP, a vital revenue that Thailand cannot afford to lose. The Tourism Council of Thailand is keen to let potential visitors know that safety is their principal concern. Elsewhere, taxi firms Addison Lee and Uber in the United Kingdom have announced new safety measures as the government looks to ease coronavirus restrictions and people return to work. Addison Lee will fit Perspex partition screens between drivers and passengers across its 4,000 vehicles next week. And Uber is paying the AA to install partitions in 400 cars in Newcastle, Sunderland and Durham as part of an initial pilot. Both Both firms are also distributing free protective equipment to drivers. The plans follow calls for improved protection for drivers and passengers. Uber is fast trailing the petition screens in areas where it has been able to gain the permission of the regulator or city council in order to ensure that the screens are installed safely. Finally, New York City has placed limits on how much food delivery apps can charge restaurants that use their platforms. The proposal, which was put to a vote on Wednesday, will cap fees at 20% and apply in emergency situations when restaurants must be shut. There have been complaints about fees charged by tech firms amid skyrocketing deliveries during the lockdown. Other U.S. cities such as San Francisco, Washington, and Seattle have also introduced tighter rules for the apps. The firm said that the law was an overstep by local officials and would not withstand legal challenge. The New York City Council had started discussing ways to limit the fees charged by mobile apps before the pandemic hit.
And back home, efforts to combat the spread of COVID-19 continue to gain ground, with counties receiving personal protective gear and other relevant items from donors. Turkana and Busia County governments have received donations from the United Nations High Commission for Refugees and Friend Hallows Foundation, respectively.
Turkana's Health CEC Jen Ajele says UNHCR has donated to the county items such as face mask, soap and other assorted items in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic. Turkana Governor Josephat Nanok, however, says transport at the borders remains one of the risky areas against the fight of the spread.
The trucks, the truck drivers, I think that's a very risky group, as we've seen in other areas going into Uganda. So the emphasis we've put is for truck drivers that are coming this side.
Meanwhile, Busia has received donations worth 3.2 million shillings from the Fred Hollows Foundation, an Australian organization. Busia Governor Sospita Ojamong says the equipment will strengthen efforts by the county to avert the spread of the pandemic in the county, which has already recorded 2 positive cases.
Digital blood pressure machine, the thermograms, and so it's all worth 3.2 million. So far, since we started requesting for assistance from our donors, friends and partners, it's now the highest consignment that we have had.
This as Superform donates mattresses to EMBU firefighters to cushion them against economic effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Our fire department has been doing a fantastic job because they have been fumigating markets, public places and hospitals, and they've been doing it at night.
Siku kama mnavyojua, wazimamoto huwa analala wakigojea emergency, na katika wakati huu wa COVID-19 inaonekana sasa kila fireman atakuwa na godoro yake. There will be no more sharing. As you know, tunafanya kazi na shift, so ideally firemen huwa wana share mattresses, but now
We do thank you very much for tuning in to this edition of Channel 1 Lunchtime News. My name is Edward Kabasa, sign language interpreter has been Byron Aboli. Good afternoon.